This is a triangle choke, and the guy who won the Abu Dhabi championship, and the Abu Dhabi championship is like the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu championship in the world. He won because he had his wife get on her hands and knees, and he practiced triangling her head with his left legs, like his left leg hooking and then his right leg hooking, left leg hooking, right leg hooking. And he drilled that every day, and he ended up winning by triangle choke. So, that is a huge thing when it talks about repetition. The backbone of today's discussion is going to be all about these things called neurons. Neurons are the connective structures in your brain. This is how information is traveled. This is how information travels throughout your brain, right? Neurons are basically brain cells. Oh, this is perfect. Okay. So you see these electrical signals firing through here? When you complete an action, no matter what it is, if it's scratching your head or playing the guitar, in my situation, talking to girls, asking for sex in the first date, right? The more you do something, the more carved out this neural pathway becomes, and the more efficient and effortless you can do these things. There are 4 levels of competence, right? And this is tied into how these neurons in your brain work. So the first level is unconscious incompetent. You are unaware of how bad you are at something, right? This is most of you guys in your blue pill days. You didn't realize how bad you were with women. You thought, if I just be the bigger man, if I just bring her a bouquet of flowers, if I'm a gentleman, then women will come to me and they will be in my life and they will love me for who I am. All I need to do is be myself, yada, 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 right? At some point along this line, if you're lucky, you get a heartbreak or you get completely burned by a divorce or something, and something snaps. And then you realize, holy shit, something is wrong. Something is not right. And that's when you realize you get to the next level, which is conscious incompetence, right? And this is when you start to realize, I used to be blue pill. I took the red pill. I escaped from the matrix of false dating systems, and now I see the truth. So most of you guys are right here. Conscious incompetence, right? You know that you can be better with women, but you don't know how to do it. You kind of know how to do it, right? And that is like when you are just starting out here, you're at this level here. You see how this kind of slow. This is the data going slow. This is you. Some of you guys are afraid to ask a girl on a date, so you have never asked a girl on a date. So this connection is very, very rocky, very, very hard for you to get through. And it's very, very difficult for you to do this because it's something you've never done before. When you're consciously incompetent and trying new things, this is where it's difficult. You're literally rewiring your brain. For all you guys who are trying to learn this dating science and get this part of your life figured out, you are literally rewriting your brain. You are rewriting the code in your brain. This is not a joke. This is actual science. So by creating these new actions and new behaviors and repetition, these connections right here eventually get to this one. You see how this one travels far more faster, okay, and far more efficiently? Because this connection is far more developed and you already have the ability to do something. In this situation, we're talking about girls. You know how to pick up girls. You know how to talk to girls. It's very easy. Like, this is how my connection is. And it takes time to rewire the brain. It takes a lot of time to rewire the brain. Okay? Ideally, you want to get up to here, which is unconscious competence, right? The next level is conscious competence. It's like, okay, you know how to get on a date and make it happen. And this is where a few of you guys are. Some of you guys who are like, I would say guys who are around 20 girls or more, you're around here. You're around conscious competence, right? If you're around 8 to 10 girls, you're probably right here. So this is conscious competence, right? If you do X, Y, Z, you're going to get the result, okay? And you know how to execute X, Y, Z. but anywhere between 20 to 25 girls, you're proficient, okay? And then you get to the expert level, okay? And this, when you're at the expert level of unconscious competence, that's when this neural connection is like for you guys, like some of you guys are so good at doing stuff. Like for you guys that, play sports, like sometimes, if you play baseball or any sport that you need to catch the ball, sometimes you won't even be paying attention. You'll just catch the ball, right? Because you've been doing it for so long. You know that you just have this skill set down and you can just perform it on an unconscious level. This is what we talk about right here. This level is talking about internalizing the red pill. That's what this is. This is like, it is in your blood. It is in your bones. For me, talking to women and just all this stuff is just, for me, I am unconsciously competent. I'm actually up here at mastery level. Now, how you get to these high level, okay, is you have to continuously repeat the behavior. And that's what repetition is. That's why they have that saying, what's his face? Corey Wayne likes to say it all the time, but repetition is the mother of all skill. So when you constantly have repetition here, repetition, these neural pathways become far more defined. They fire far more efficiently. Okay, but the most important thing that I always say, and like I said, there's a science behind it, it is take action. Guys, you have to take action. If you do not take action, you don't fire the new neurons, nothing happens, okay? And that's why I also say you have to do the work. There is no shortcut. You have to literally rewire your brain. You must do it. There are no ands, ifs, or buts about it because you want to get to this top neuron. You want to get to this top neuron here, right? You want to get to the point where you can just effortlessly do this stuff of unconscious competence here. But most of you guys, you don't even fire off the signal. What you do, this signal right here for you guys is the whip out my dick and jerk off the porn. That's what you have going on up here. That's the one you have. Or the retreat into the corner of a nightclub and don't do anything. That's why people are always saying get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone. Because your brain is not wired for hardship. Your brain is wired for comfort and protecting yourself from danger. So most of you guys don't even fire off this electrical impulse to try to create these new pathways. And it takes time to rewire your brain. That's why I always say take action. And another thing is repetition. The more you produce this action, the more you go and talk to girls, the more you go out and make things happen, right? You try going to the gym, You try going to stand-up comedy, or try going to networking events, you try going to speed dating, whatever. That's why the scientists say if you do anything for 21 days, it becomes you can become a habit, right? That's because you're literally creating neural pathways that are transferring data at an efficient rate compared to, you got guys who are yo-yo dieters, like they go hard and then they get here, they just kind of fade off. You have to be consistent in your repetition of these behaviors. If you're not consistent in doing those things, it's not going to work. And the more you do it, the more proficient you be at it. That's why I always tell you guys, take action. Fire off that initial electrical impulse and repetition. Why? Because you need to fire as many as possible to make these proper connections. Get a mentor. Why? So you want to make sure that you're making the right connections as well. You want to make sure you're performing and learning in the right way, because you could learn in a bad way as well. You can create neural pathways to bad behaviors. Like I said, masturbating, constantly masturbating to porn, not approaching women. There is an actual concrete and hardcore science behind this. And it's not easy. It is not easy to rewire your brain, but it is very, very rewarding. This is why a lot of people lose money in the lottery, right? You give this person a big outside source of income, but they still are thinking and they have all their neurons firing like a poor person. And most people who end up winning the lottery end up losing all the money. I think it's like in 5 years or less. That's why I tell you guys, a lot of you guys are saying like, what if I get tactical soap? And what if I buy this course? And like, what if I buy this PDF? And what if I, go to this boot camp and stuff. It doesn't like outside influences are not going to change the internal you, and the internal you are the wirings in your brain. You need to do the hard work in order to rewire yourself. Okay, this is like the analogy I like to use. The fat guy who has the Bowflex, he has all the protein supplements, he has all the gym memberships, but he's still a fat guy. Why? Because he is still thinking and operating like a fat guy. He hasn't made the changes. His neural connectivities here that are very fast are that make him a fat guy. Those are the ones that make him bad eating habits, being lazy, not moving, not going to the gym, these kind of things. So no matter how many outside things you buy, like so many people think, oh, if I just buy this, or if I just do this course, or if I just buy this Rolex, or buy this necklace, or get this car, then girls will come to me. No, you have to do the hard work. You have to do the hard work, which is learning how to get game. That's the big thing right there. Bring Back Dodgeball says, crush a kid. A lot of guys self-disqualify before they start. Yeah, that's another thing too. The reason I did this episode is I want to talk about this too. This book is really good. The book is here. It's called The Magic of Thinking Big. Acquire the secrets of success. Achieve everything you always wanted. Personal property, financial security, power and influence, the ideal job, satisfying relationships, a rewarding and enjoyable life by David J. Schwartz. I'm only like 1 or 2 chapters in, but it's a great refresher for me because this is all stuff that I knew. But, honestly, when you get into if you don't practice things, you could slip into negative behaviors because our life and our world is like default. By default, it's negative. The news is negative, media is negative, everything is negative. And it is good for you to have a positive mindset. And this whole book talks about the power of belief and the power of having a positive mindset and believing that you can do stuff. He talks about like a person with an IQ of 100 and who has positive self-belief can outperform somebody who has 140 IQ but negative belief system. The magic of thinking big. Really good stuff, and it really ties into, like I said, these neurological connections here. It is something I truly, truly, and highly recommend because a lot of guys self-disqualify before they start. They say, I'm not smart enough. I'm too old. I'm too fat. I'm too this. I'm too that. You have to have the audacity to believe in yourself versus not believing in yourself. Like you're better off having like irrational, crazy confidence than having irrational, crazy disbelief in yourself. It's just not a good thing.